join the Salvation Army's Fight for Good. It's a fight to help hardworking families across Chicagoland who struggle to put food on the table, make rent, and to keep the heat on every day. It's a fight to support the thousands of children who live in poverty in our own neighborhoods. And it's also a fight to bring assistance to those who lost everything in fires or floods or hurricanes. In fact, the Salvation Army serves more than 1 million people every year in Chicago with important services, including shelter, meals, child care, disaster services, and holiday assistance. And you can make it possible with donations at the iconic Red Kettles and online. So join the Salvation Army's Fight for Good. Click the large donate button at www.salarmychicago.org/WGN Radio. It's Andrea Darlas and Elton Jim at WGN. No switching.
GN Andrea Darlas, Elton Jim here with you. We are in for Bill and Wendy for the next couple of hours. Don't forget, you can catch us between noon and 1 on WGNradio.com for the bonus hour.
Yeah, we do the stream.
That's going to be cool.
So that'll be cool.
Islands in the
So
stream.
what?
I don't know why everything reminds me of a song.
Why are you singing every time?
I don't know. Because I'm so happy to be with you. So happy to see you.
So what? It was the night after, or 'twas the day after Christmas. Are you coming down? Are you?
I am.
You got a hangover? What does an Andrea do?
I don't. I don't drink, so I don't have. I don't have a hangover, but I do have a little Christmas hangover. I felt this year. I know we say this every year, but it came up so quickly. It was over so fast, and now I can't believe it's the day after Christmas, and we're going to be in 2019 in less than a week.
Well, you know, I have this this little countdown ornament.
Do you
and
really?
It's got a little Santa on it, and it has a digital countdown.
Yeah.
And you set it on a date, and it counts down all the way to Christmas. So I set this thing on October 15th, I believe.
Is there any particular reason why you?
No, I just remembered that I have this ornament because I guess you could do it actually on October 1st, according to the little dial that it used. So when I set it, it was. I guess I'm trying to think what actually day it was, but it was 69 days. Until Christmas.
Wow, and now it's over.
And here we are.
What happens on the ornament today?
Right, so at midnight,
goes dark?
At midnight on Christmas Eve, then it goes into Christmas Day. You wait, and it's just all of a sudden it starts flashing, and then it says Merry Christmas and ho ho ho.
And that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't have any music.
Oh,
I'm like, why doesn't this thing have music?
It should have music.
And of course, then at 12:02 a.m., so we watched that for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Even though it was kind of
anticlimactic.
Yeah. It should have music. Whoever
I thought you were going to say like glitter shoots out of it or streamers.
I've been waiting for 69 days. And all I get is a ho, 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 Merry Christmas spelled out.
And then it shuts off.
Yeah, well, it didn't shut off, but it would go on forever. But it's like, yeah, how about just a little jingle bell or a, you know, Santa Claus is coming to town kind of tune.
Right.
So then, of course, at 12:02, I had to go to the piano bench and lift up the piano bench because I had to take out my baby Jesus.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait.
Because baby Jesus, baby Jesus, of course, is not in the stable until Christmas Day.
Stop it! You're one of those people.
He is not. In fact, my 3 wise men, they're still in the kitchen. They're making their way to the dining room.
And you're
still
happily married?
They just saw the star.
Okay.
They've just seen the star.
Okay.
They're on their way.
You're hearing yourself talk out loud, right?
January 6th, Epiphany.
What happens then?
Then they get to show up at the stable. So right now they are in the kitchen making their way through the dining room to get to the living room.
Okay, but isn't the day of the Three Kings when you're supposed to take all the decorations down?
Well, that's... Hey, I didn't write this.
According to the lore?
These aren't my rules.
What was it like back then?
No, but of course, baby Jesus is not on my nativity.
You put him in the piano bench?
I hide him, and I just have a few a cow and a couple of goats.
And then Christmas morning, you put the baby Jesus...
And a few lambs, and then at 12:01, or when it's officially Christmas Day, then I go to the piano bench and pull Jesus out. And because up to then, I don't even have Mary and Joseph there.
You just have the animals gathering, and they're in the stable.
Right, because they're on their way. They have to go to the inn. They have to get refused at the inn before they get to the stable. So if you put them at the stable,
do you have them do you recreate this? Do you put one in one hand and one at the other and have them entering the inn?
No, but I do move my 3 wise men. Like about an inch every
closer every day.
So now Jesus is where he belongs
in the stable.
But now
don't you think by this time he'd be inside?
Well, he's in.
Because it's. I mean, if you want to be December 26th.
Why, you think after the weekend there was room in the inn?
I figured, yes, somebody would say, well, hey, a baby was born. Maybe you could give up your bed.
People were checking out. They had a Saturday checkout. And then
a noon checkout?
Yeah, a noon checkout.
Right.
You know, and then Joseph is like, hey, Mary.
Right.
Let's go.
Oh, no.
Pack up the kid.
Hold on. They would have to have the someone clean up the room, like the room service. And then they say, okay, it's 2 o'clock. Your room is ready. Jesus, Mary, come on in.
Well, they let them know when the move was ready. They had a little drummer boy, and he would hit the drum to let them know it's time. Your room is ready.
Is he part of your nativity?
No, I don't have him.
Okay.
But I do have a shepherd with a lamb on his back, looking at the Christ child.
And is he allowed to come in now?
No riffraff.
No riffraff in the inn.
No, he's a shepherd. He doesn't go into the inn. No, it's just the Holy Family.
I still sort of feel bad that you keep the baby Jesus hidden in the piano bench.
Well, he's not born.
Maybe you could put him in a.
Well, he can't be around. I can't see him. Because he doesn't
keep
exist.
him in like a little box or something, but it just seems like kind of.
I know. I guess it is, but it's nice and quiet there, and it's close to where the stable is.
Okay, got it.
I don't forget.
You don't forget. Can you imagine Christmas Day? You forget.
Where is he?
You're watching the ho 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 ornament, but you don't have the baby Jesus in your nativity. It makes sense. It really does. Just hearing it out loud sounds a little crazy.
I just find. Although I went to New York a couple of years ago, we went to St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Oh, beautiful.
And this was before Christmas.
Beautiful.
Walked in, went to see their beautiful nativity in the church.
And no baby Jesus.
No Jesus. Thank you very much. There was an empty manger.
Yeah.
And I even said to the security guard, yes, thank you.
Good, right.
You know. And he goes, as I said, Jesus isn't born. He goes, you're right.
Did the security guard say, you need to leave now?
Yeah, then I was pulled out.
We need to escort
I was taken out.
out of the cathedral.
I was taken out in handcuffs. They were afraid that I might steal Joseph.
Oh my God!
Or maybe a stray lamb.
All right, so the 3 wise men. Obviously, the 3 Kings celebration is the 6th, the 7th.
I believe it's just January 6th.
Okay,
now you are Greek, right?
I am Greek, yeah, but so it's the same. Like our Christmas is the exact same.
Oh,
Greek
okay.
Orthodox. The only thing that's different are Easters.
So you can. Oh, you still have the Christmas and everything. It's just Easter's
everything's
different.
the same. Yeah, just Easter is a week later usually.
Why, you don't think he rose on that day? What's your problem?
No, because we follow it the correct way. We follow. No, here's why. Because people ask this all the time. There's 2 calendars. There's the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar.
Right.
And the modern day, I believe,
is the Gregorian.
Is the Gregorian, and the Greeks follow the Orthodox religion follows the Julian. And
I love Julian vegetables.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Julian Cruz, because he's a great reporter at Channel 9. But hello,
cruising with Julian.
So we celebrate Easter a week later because the Julian calendar believes that the Passover was the Last Supper. So obviously, when there's the Passover, that's the Last Supper. Then you have Good Friday, then Holy Saturday.
So what is yours? Good
Sunday.
Wednesday?
Oh, it's Holy Wednesday.
Oh, it is really Wednesday?
It's Holy Wednesday.
I was just joking.
No, I think it is.
Good hump day.
My mom's gonna kill me.
So you don't even do a Good Friday. You do a Good Wednesday.
No, we do Good Friday.
Oh.
But it's after. It's on the real Good Friday, not when you celebrate it.
Oh, listen to the real.
I'm sorry.
Wow. I didn't think we were going to get into some.
And then some years it's on the same day.
I didn't think we were going to disagree this quick.
I know, seriously. Well, you had me when you had the baby Jesus in the piano bench.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I would never put the baby Jesus in the piano bench.
I am a stickler. I am a pragmatist. Okay. I like reality.
Okay, who are the 3 kings?
Balthazar, Melchior, and Ernie.
No, there's no such thing as an Ernie.
No, it is Balthazar and Melchior. I don't know the third.
Caspar. Caspiar?
Is that what? Or is it Caspiar?
Okay, I only know this.
Okay, if anybody knows, give us a call.
I only know because I had to look. I think it is. I had to look it up because, yeah.
Give us a call, 312-981-7200. What's the name of the 3rd wise man?
Oh, for a prize. Do we have anything to give away?
Do we have a Lou Malnati's? I think it's Malnati. It's Balthazar, Melchior, and Malnati.
And Malnati. At the end.
We shouldn't give away a prize until we know we have one.
All right, yeah, let's wait. We'll wait. 312-981-7200. Text us or call us. It's Andrea Darlas and Elton Jim. More after this on 720 WGN.
No switching.
Out of the news, we do have an answer to our question. Mary, you were listening to Elton Jim and I talk about the 3 kings.
It is.
Who
it's Caspar, C-A-S-P-A-R.
Caspar, the friendly wise man.
No.
Yes. Yes, he was.
So it is, but I am right about Balthazar and Melchior, correct?
Yes, it's Melchior and Balthazar. B-A-L, Balthazar.
Balthazar.
You are right.
And
Yeah.
Caspiar.
And Caspiar.
No, it's C-A-S-P-A-R. Caspar.
Oh, Casper. You
Caspar.
are right. It is like the ghost.
Caspar, the friendly
Friendly
wise
ghost.
Well,
man.
the
Yeah.
friendly ghost was Casper.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this
Hey, thanks, Mary.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Your prize is...
Happy New Year.
Your
prize
prize
is-
is knowing that you were correct.
Yes, and you get to keep
okay.
listening to me and Elton Jim for the next hour and a half. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
After the news, we are going to talk Christmas cards and Elton Jim's theory and my theory. Do you send them? Do you not? What do you do with them?
I have rules.
You have rules.
I have rules, which should not
Your
surprise
rules,
you.
surprisingly, your rules are cray. At 10:31, we'll be back. First, though, the news. It is sponsored by the Hiltons of Chicago, Dibs.com. Here's Ryan Burrow.
The National Retail Federation says 17% of Americans will be returning or exchanging gifts received or purchased over the holidays. This holiday season was a big boom for retailers. MasterCard's Spending Pulse, which tracks both online and in-store spending, says consumers dropped $850 billion between November 1st and Christmas Eve. That's up 5% from last year and beat expectations. Wednesday is the first full business day of the partial government shutdown. So far, the public and federal workers have been largely spared inconvenience and hardship because the government is closed on weekends and federal employees were excused from work on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The shutdown began at midnight last Friday. President Trump saying Tuesday that the closed parts of the government will remain that way until Democrats agree to a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. And for those traveling post-Christmas, weather could be a problem. Snowstorms working their way across the Dakotas, heavy rain across the plains. The storms and gusty winds could impact air travel in cities like Minneapolis, Dallas, and Houston. Your money, sports, traffic, and Samuelson.
And good morning to you. And just repeating what you said a couple of minutes ago, sales during the U.S. holiday shopping season up 5.1% to over $850 billion this year. That's the strongest now in the past 6 years. Meanwhile, Boeing Company getting an unwanted Christmas gift. The family of a man who was killed when a Lion Air flight crashed in October has sued Boeing, alleging the 737 MAX 8 aircraft was, quote, unreasonably dangerous, and demanding a jury trial in Chicago where the U.S. manufacturer is based. All 189 people on board the plane were killed in that crash. Now, let's look at the numbers. They've been all over the place this morning. The Dow Industrial Average currently up 145 points. The S&P 500 up 20. The NASDAQ up 70 points. And the volatility index at the CBOE down a little more than a point, and it's at 34.95. Grain trade this morning at the Chicago Board of Trade, the March wheat contract is down 5.5 cents a bushel. March corn down 4 3/4 cents. And January soybeans down 6 1/4 cents a bushel. Livestock futures, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. April lean hogs up 22 cents a hundredweight. December live cattle up 35 cents. And the January feeder cattle contract is up 57 cents a hundredweight. Meanwhile, oil prices have moved more than $2 higher thus far in the morning trade. U.S. crude futures extending gains more than 5% to a session high of $44.53 a barrel. That's your money on 720 WGN.
Orion, are you there?
I'm here.
I just wanted to say hi. This is like reunion week. Andrea.
Hi, Orion.
And now
Hello,
you.
Andrea.
It's so great to talk to you. Hope you had a good Christmas holiday. I just wanted to say hi.
Well, thank you, and hi to you. And yes, we had a good holiday. We spent yesterday flying from Chicago to Arizona.
Oh, so you went into air.
Yeah, we're working out of WGN West this morning. But temperature in the desert for the next 5 or 7 days, not going to be as warm as normal.
So it's only going to be, what, 95?
80.
Nope, not quite. No, as a
Orion.
matter of fact, let me see. What are we doing now? We're doing 50 degrees right now.
Oh,
We're getting
wow.
up to 56 this week, Orion.
Yeah, we're going to beat you, Orion.
Yeah.
You probably will.
fly
so why
back.
don't you come out and enjoy the cooler temperatures here?
Orion, I'm coming out in February or March, okay?
We'll let you know
Taking you guys
when
to
we're
dinner.
here, and I'll even buy a little libation for you.
I'm in, my friend. I'm
Ooh.
in. I miss you. Love you, Orion.
Have a
Love
good
you too.
have a good New Year,
He's the
Orion.
best.
And the same to all of you.
Great to talk to you.
I've been in Orion's pool, and that's not code.
I bet you
code.
have. What do you mean, his football pool?
No, his actual swimming pool.
Really?
Yeah. Orion and I are
Oh,
tight.
I didn't know you
We're
guys
very
were
close.
like that.
Actually, he saw me and ended up calling security and
Have you
all
seen
of his guards.
Have you seen Orion in his trunks?
No. But
I'd love to. They
But
have
he's
big,
seen me in
They
mine.
have big pigs. And,
no, Orion.
Careful where you're going
Yeah,
with this.
thank you, Big O. Yeah, Orion was grilling steaks.
No, there's cows and livestock and grain.
in his yard. No,
No, on his trunks, on his swimming trunks.
Orion was actually Orion was the guest of honor. It was his birthday party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm still, I guess my invitation got lost in the
Yeah,
mail.
you weren't at that one.
Back to you, Ryan.
WGN Sports. We've got basketball tonight. The Bulls hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. College football action, Minnesota versus Georgia Tech in the Quick Lane Bowl. That takes place in Detroit. WGN Traffic, Jen DeSalvo.
And a structure fire at 147th and Vale Avenue on the south side, and a couple of other problem spots out there, but nothing too dire. The Edens looks good. The Kennedy, for the most part, looks good. O'Hare into downtown's 22 minutes. It's 12 in from Montrose, 8 in those express lanes. But the outbound side, everything is flowing freely, and there's no problems on the O'Hare extension out near the airport. Now, the Eisenhower, you hit some slow spots from Lake to Mill, and then St. Charles to the Tri-State, and then again from Ashland into the Byrne interchange. It's 34 minutes from Thorndale to the old post office. The Stevenson looks good in both directions between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. However, I-55 stop and go due to an earlier accident on the northbound side at Weber Road. So traffic starts coming to a halt about 126, and you're going to be riding the brake through that former accident site. The Dan Ryan looks good. So does I-57, the Bishop Ford, and Lakeshore Drive. For personalized traffic on demand, get the Traffic Chicago app approved by the mortgage experts of Team Hochberg. Just search TRAFFIX Chicago. I'm Jen DeSalvo in WGN Traffic Central.
The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center. We're actually getting warmer. Not quite Orion Samuelson's Arizona weather, but getting pretty darn close. Partly sunny skies, a high of 44 today. Not bad for late December. Down to 39 degrees tomorrow and tonight, and tomorrow, get this, scattered thunderstorms, but we get up to 56 degrees. Not very good for snow skiing or ice skating. It's the warmest day in Chicago. Tomorrow could be the warmest day in Chicago dating back to Halloween. Right now, your temperature's not quite that toasty. It's 37 at O'Hare, 38 at Midway, 32 in Glen Ellen, and 37 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. I'm Ryan Burrow in the WGN Radio Newsroom. These are the stories that matter on 720 WGN.
Together again.
1047 WGN. Andrea Darlas, Elton, Jim. We are together again.
Yes,
The day after
I
Christmas.
forgot. It's been, say, 5 years since we actually shared a studio and shared a mic
And
like this.
shared a show like this.
That's
This is
awesome.
awesome. And you and I were, we were so excited to be able to do this together. And we were talking about, we had topic after topic after topic. And when you started talking about Christmas cards and holiday cards and your rules for holiday cards, because I started saying I don't really send them anymore. Most of the people I keep in touch with were either texting or on Facebook or Instagram. So I get this.
Well, you're Miss Technology.
Yeah.
You're Miss Social Media.
You still have a flip phone.
I have a flip phone.
Is it a Razor?
No, it's a Samsung.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and that's
Okay, so
true.
at
And I
least
have and I'm, as I've said many times, I mean, my flip phone is inundated. I have Tetris and bowling.
Whoa. Oh, you got bowling on the phone now,
Bowling.
too.
And I just found out like 3 weeks ago, I have an alarm on there.
No.
I could actually set an alarm to wake me up with my phone.
See, do you use your phone to talk on?
Well, see, that's one of the things.
See, I don't ever talk
It's
on
called a phone, a telephone.
Yeah,
See, that's the whole idea. That's why I believe, as I've been saying for many years, they need to change. It's not an iPhone. It's not a smartphone. It was when it started.
Yes.
11, 12 years ago. It needs a new name. No one talks on it.
No, I don't.
They need
I
to
don't.
change the name.
I talk to my mom on the phone because my mom likes to talk on the phone.
The only thing I
That's the
saw
only
you
reason.
today before the show, I saw you talking into it, but you were talking into a text.
I was
mean,
voice texting.
Yeah, that was your text. You were talking to your device.
And I was asking him for his ham and split pea soup recipe.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is that? I don't know where she's going with this.
Oh, my God. All right, so tell us your rules for Christmas cards.
Well, yeah, so this is the thing. First of all, I wanted to ask you, do you send Christmas cards?
I used to send Christmas cards. Used
to. So when would you say the last year you sent Christmas cards out?
At least 3 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I'm old school.
I would say 3 years ago.
And why did you stop?
Because the postage got too expensive. I was sending them to people, not getting any cards back. And
that's a foreshadowing of my rule.
Okay, but mine was a little less crazy. And when, and I'm not judging. We'll have our listeners do that. 312-981-7200.
Oh, they've already judged.
If you want to call or text in. But I don't send them now because truly everybody who I want to keep in touch with, or even people who live, I have friends in Tennessee and friends in Champaign. So we'll talk on Facebook or we'll text. And there's not really a need. I see pictures of them and their kids and their dogs. And
another rule.
Okay.
There's another rule.
All right.
You just reminded me of another Christmas card rule.
Up until a couple of years ago, I didn't send cards unless I got a card from someone. Then I'd say, Nancy from Champaign sent me a card, so I will then send her
even
one.
though you're not sending them out, are you getting any?
Yeah, I got maybe 10 this year. I didn't get that many.
Okay, but you didn't send any out.
No, I didn't send any out this year.
So you have, first of all, as I said, I love tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, there's a part of me that likes to send out a Christmas card and likes to get a card. I still like getting real mail.
Okay.
It's fun to open.
Mm-hmm.
The other side of the coin is I do get a lot of email cards. I understand where we're at. I understand your thing, but I still like to send them out. However, I noticed over the last several years that we were sending out at one time like 100 and some cards.
Are you serious?
No, seriously.
So you send cards to everybody?
Well, at a time, you send them to people you work with, you send them to extended family, you send them to extended friends, and as time goes on, you start to lose touch with some people, you start to pare down your list.
Right.
Last couple of years, we pared down to like 80.
Okay. Which is still a lot.
But paring down, because I'm in a whole decluttering mode in my life.
Uh-huh. It sounds like it.
We can get to that later. So this year, we continued to pare down. Elton Jamie was paring down, so we got to like 57. But about 2 or 3 years ago, after we were sending these 80 out, I noticed I wasn't getting 80 back.
How many were you getting?
Well, this is my point. So to your point about stamps are going up. Do you know stamps are going up in 2019 5 cents?
Yeah, and again, why mail anything?
Right, so it's 55 cents. Usually when stamps went up, they went up a couple of pennies.
Yes.
And 5 cents, that's a pretty nice big hit.
Yes.
But anyway, so I'm like, wait a minute, we're sending like 80 cards out at 45 cents or whatever it was at
Is
the
that
time.
what stamps are now?
Now they're 50. So it'll be 55 in 2019.
Okay, and you know what's funny? I'm saying 55 cents to send a letter is a lot of money. If you think about the grand scheme of things, it's really not.
And not only that, but think about what an amazing you take this piece of paper, you drop it in a box, and somehow it gets like across the world. That still is pretty cool.
Okay, you know what's even cooler?
The whole idea of mail.
Me sending you a message and hitting send, and it gets to you in 3 seconds.
Oh, that's just
on the phone.
Techno-babble.
Well, I'm sorry. Someone unlike you who has a phone that doesn't... Do you get texts?
Oh, I can... Yeah, you texted me.
But when did you get it? A few days later?
Oh, yeah, I just got it yesterday.
Okay.
You sent it last week. I just got it, but I still got it.
God.
No, but anyway, so I noticed. So I said to my wife, a new edict. Because we were sending out all these cards. We were not getting 80 back.
I want to ask one question before you get to your rules.
Yeah.
When you send Christmas cards, is it a photo of you? Or
No,
is it
we
just
usually get a card.
All right, so it's an actual card. Do you write something on there personalized?
Yes, I do.
Like to Andrea, I miss you.
Step into Christmas or depending on the person.
You don't just put like love Elton Jim and Elton Jamie.
No.
No, you write a message.
Well, not everybody, but it depends. If there's some people that we don't see all the time, I'll maybe just put my name. But if there's somebody that I see on a regular basis, I'll add a little.
Okay, that was my question. All right, so your rules.
So I was noticing we were not getting as many cards back as we sent out. So I said, you know what? We're going to try something new. This is a couple years ago. If we don't get back at least half of the letters that we send out,
right,
the next year we are not sending out. Call me Scrooge. Call me Grinch.
At all?
0.
So if you send 80, you need to get 40 back.
41.
Do you really
It's
sit there
half
and
plus
count?
1. It's just like Congress.
It's like
half
The Price
plus,
is Right.
It's half
You go up
plus
$1.
Half plus 1. So that year, I sent the edict, and we got like 45.
No.
So I'm like, okay, we can buy. And Jamie likes to send them out. So, she wants to send them out.
Right.
So I said, okay, but this isn't fair. If we're not getting, if we're just sending them out to the world and no one's reciprocating, then what fun is that?
Okay, got it.
So then last year, we sent out 60 some.
Okay.
And we went, and now you get no mail on Christmas Day. So whatever card you get, and I don't care if I get one on the 27th. That doesn't count in the tally.
Come on.
No, that does not count. It has to be before Christmas. So on Christmas Eve,
Why?
we usually, unless it's a Saturday or Sunday, on Christmas Eve, this year, for instance, was a Monday. So we got our mail, and that's when it stops. It stops.
That's when your counting stops.
The count stops. If
You seriously sit there and you count your cards?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you how many we got this year. So that year, we were down to Christmas Eve. We were going to not send them.
And you got one.
And we got 4 and tipped it over.
Thank God.
So
I'm
we
sure all
sent
those
them
people are so thrilled.
So we sent them out this year. Now, this year we pared down again. We were at 57 cards, right?
Okay.
So I needed to
if
get
you say so.
28 or 29, right?
You do it to the card, to the number.
Well, half of
round up.
57. I rounded
You
up
round
a little.
up.
Yeah. Half plus 1.
Oh my God.
As of Christmas Eve, 2018, 35.
Oh.
So we topped it again.
Christmas is saved.
So those of you who
Thank
get an
God.
Elton Jim and Elton Jamie Christmas card, you can warm
Rest assured.
warm the cockles of your hearts.
Which I was not one, by the
That
way.
you will. Well, now that I see you in the day,
Oh, you have to see
I have
me.
to see you at least once.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, you
Your
will be added
rules-
to the list.
Okay, your rules are officially insane.
no.
But very, very funny. You're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of texts. We are getting a lot of texts about this. I have to tell you. So from the 847. Are you guys really sharing a mic? All you need is some mistletoe. Hello. Thank you, John.
Oh.
Someone asked if I send you a card.
Yeah, you didn't send me one.
No, I
Now
don't
you
send
didn't even send me an E1. I didn't get them.
Oh wait, I said it last week. You just
Yeah.
haven't gotten
Well,
it on your on your flip phone.
Well, my email is. I still get my fiber optic email.
Someone
I
put-
got 125 megabits blowing through my house. Right now, my hair is standing up on fire.
Oh, but here you go, 312. There's something so special about a card, a handwritten note.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry that they don't come back to you every year. It's not about that. It's about giving of yourself and not getting.
And I was very warmed yesterday. We went to my wife's family for Christmas Day, and her uncle had our card out on the little credenza, and he said, "Oh, this is such a beautiful card. We're going to keep this and put this out every year." It was a Santa because
He's
I
not
love
going
Santa.
to. He's
Oh no,
not.
I think he will. So I agree. I'm in this digital world. Don't you like to touch things? See, I'm tangible. I like to touch.
I do like to
things.
touch things.
Wow. I didn't think I'd be holding this much.
I didn't mean in that
Then
way.
why is your face so red?
It's just because I knew you were going to take it that way. No, I do like to get mail. I do. But
Yeah.
now here's the problem. Now my question is, what do you do with all the Christmas cards? Do you
Well,
save
why don't we
them?
wait until after the break because we're already late. Let's take a quick break and then we
All
can
right, that
talk
sounds
about
good.
that.
More after this on 720.
The beat goes on. The beat goes on.
So is it Sonny and Cher who are doing a show right now? No, it is not.
No.
It is Andrea Darlas and Elton Jimmy.
Yes.
It's Jimmy and Andrea.
Jimmy. Jimmy. I've never called you Jimmy.
My mom used to call me Jimmy, and in my family I used to be known as Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Jim. 'Cause
As
we had-
as an adult or as a kid?
Well, kind of, because my dad was Jim. I had an uncle Jim. He named his. Oh, yeah, you said
okay.
Jim, and everybody in the house
You're like
turned
the
around.
Greeks. Everybody's
Yeah.
named after each other.
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's adorable. We're talking Christmas cards. Do you still send them? Elton Jim's Crazy Rules, which I'm not just saying this too.
Well, I'm still sending them because I
know.
got more than half back.
I know, and I'm sure everybody's breathing a sigh of relief now that they're going to get the cards from you. I don't send them just because
Because
I don't
you're-
really want to pay the postage, and I'll text or Facebook or
Well,
email
you know,
someone.
you're all into the social media.
Yeah,
I'm a
traditionalist. We
traditionalist.
had some interesting points too about when you sent. I like when I get Christmas cards from people with the family with the photos. You know,
Okay,
so I can
all right,
see
rule.
picture. I know this is another one of your rules.
Another rule. Now, I love to get cards from people.
Yeah.
I think it's nice at the holidays. It's great.
Where's the but?
But another rule: if you're going to send me, now I have rules. If you're going to
Now you
send
have rules
me,
for
a card.
people,
First
yeah.
of all, I'm mad I'm not getting any, but now I have rules. If you want to
If you
send
want
me
to
one,
send, yeah.
okay. Most of the people that are sending me cards are either my friends or my family. Correct?
Okay. Right.
I know
Fair.
them first.
Yes.
Now, please, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to give some little advice.
Okay.
I'm
no,
not-
wait. This
I'm-
buildup is great.
I'm not castigating anybody. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just suggesting in the future. When you send me the picture card, like
The
you
photo
just,
card.
like you just said,
I like the photo cards.
we all do.
Sure.
It's fantastic, especially for people you haven't seen in a while.
Yes.
But if you have kids, and I'm not just saying this just because I don't have kids. That's not that. I
No,
love kids.
I don't either.
I love children.
Yep.
That's why I don't have any, because I love them, and I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to force myself on them.
Right. I would hope not.
But when
You
you
ruin
send
them.
when you send a Christmas card
Yes.
with the picture, send a picture of your whole family.
Oh, I agree.
Not just your kids.
I want the whole family.
Because I know the people. I know the parents.
Right. You don't know the kids.
I don't know the kids, and aren't the parents a part of the family?
I agree. I like that. I have Jim Anthony, who used to work here. I love Jim every year, and I actually save his cards because I've known him for so long. I remember when he got married, and I remember when he had his firstborn. His oldest son is 15 now. I think 15 or 16 years old. I like seeing, and they send a family Christmas card every year. Mary Vanderbilt does the same thing. I love that. I like the whole
family, not just the kids.
Not just the kids. I agree.
Now, I love your kids, but I want to see you too.
Yeah.
And-
People are texting, oh my God, I totally agree. It's like
Yes.
the parents have disappeared from the cards.
What?
I agree with you. I want to see the parents as well.
I mean, the parents are key to that family, right?
Because we don't really, if it is our friends, chances are we see them with their kids maybe once a year, if that.
But
you
aren't
know?
but if it, I'm just going to go off on a biological theory here.
Oh, good.
If it wasn't for the parents, there wouldn't be the kids, right?
That's usually how it works.
So shouldn't we have?
Usually. Come sit on my lap. Let me tell you a story.
Oh, no, that'll be after the stream.
After our bonus hour.
Yeah, talk about a
That
bonus
is the
hour.
bonus
I'll give
hour.
you- Oh. But no, so when I get the card, when I see a whole family, even if you want to do some, because now there's like multi-pictures on a
Yes,
card.
yes.
That's fine.
I love
if you
that.
just have a couple of pictures of your kids doing things.
Right.
But put yourself in it.
Yes.
We care about you too.
We want to see you.
We want to see you.
Absolutely. All right, now, do you save? Okay, I'll preface this because my answer is going to be a lot less crazy than
Yeah.
yours, I think.
That's what you think.
I think. I used to save Christmas cards.
No, so do I.
I saved them. I had those clear shoe boxes that you can get at the Container Store or the dollar store. I saved all my Christmas cards. Then when I moved, I thought, what do I need at Christmas? And these aren't photo cards.
Right,
This is just a picture
right.
with the cardinal or Santa Claus or something
Right,
on the
right.
front.
The cardinal.
Love Jim and Jamie.
Not
whatever
the
it is.
cardinal, a cardinal.
A cardinal. Yeah, not the cardinal.
Supich, Bernadine, pick a cardinal.
It was just a red bird.
Cody. That's Google that one. Google John Cardinal
Cody.
John
Oh,
Cardinal
God,
Cody.
rest his soul.
Google that one.
Bless his heart. I used to save them, and then when I moved, I thought, I don't need these. I am so sorry, but I threw them out. And now, and it's not a cynical thing, unless you send me a photo card, day after Christmas,
No,
gone.
so you would be throwing out
Gone.
my card because I have
Right.
this beautiful. I love
probably would have
Santa.
thrown it out last night.
We love Santa. I love Santa, so our cards always have a Santa, except for our
yeah.
Jewish friends, because then we have a little snowman for
right.
them.
Okay.
You know.
Of course, sure.
But you would throw my card out.
I would. And it's not because I love you. You know I love you. You know I
No,
have
that's
huge
fine.
respect for you.
Well,
most
as long
days,
as I don't
most
know
of the
you, throw
time.
it out.
Yeah, but I
No,
do.
I've done
I'm
that. I used to
sorry, I
al-
don't know
I-
what to do with. What am I going to do with
I would
it?
put them in a manila envelope, and I would stick them in the bin with all the Christmas stuff. And then the next year, I pull this I forget.
Yeah.
I pull the manila envelope out, and it's filled with old Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And to your point, I go, now what do I do with these? So a couple of years ago, when I was in a major decluttering mood, I
threw 'em
threw
out.
except I saved ones from my wife and close friends. And I did have to say, I've been very touched over the last several years when I worked here full time. I got to know one of my idols, Tony Esposito from the
Oh,
Blackhawks.
and we might be talking with him this week. too.
Tony sends me a Christmas card now.
No, well, that you save.
So
That's
I have
different.
saved. Oh my
That's
God!
Tony
I
Esposito.
can't even believe that I did
I
it.
would save that.
Yeah.
Yours I would throw out. But
Yeah.
Tony Esposito Hands down, I'd keep that one.
So, because I did see a story. In fact, it's funny. I wanted to talk about this with you with the cards because I wondered if you sent out cards. And there was a story in the Tribune just the other day about what do we do with these Christmas cards? Are people sending them out? And it is about the touching thing. And don't forget, it took time for me. Of course, my wife sends them out and does everything. I just sign my name. But I say how I send them out. But basically, she does.
Okay.
Although I do mail them. I put them in the box.
Oh, good for you. Drive to the
there
post
is something
office.
cool. Think about just the thought of for 2 seconds. Even if it was 2 seconds, I did think of you when I mailed that letter.
That is nice.
See, so I think you should. I think you should go back to the cards. Go nuts and spend the extra 5 cents this year, and buy some stamps. And I think you should send them out in 2019. And I'll be waiting for my card. And who knows, your card may be the difference.
All right, now
To allow me to send them out next, you might be the plus one.
Oh, that's right.
You could be plus one.
Now I have to send you one for sure. I promise I will. It's Elton, Jim, Andrea Darlas. We are here with you until noon. After the news, we are going to talk to Chris Reuter, the founder of Spike Ball, and Jeb Moyers. His daughter was at Lurie Children's Hospital. We will tell you the story of both of them and how they made Christmas so special this year for more than 100 nurses at Lurie Children's Hospital. It's Elton, Jim, and Andrea Darlas. Here are the sounds that matter. The top 5 at 5 from the Rokon Show with Anna DeVlantis, weekday afternoons on 720 WGN Chicago. Smart speaker users, just say play WGN Radio on TuneIn. Time now for the news, and here's Ryan Burrow.
We've got 37 degrees right now at O'Hare. No women's march in Chicago. WGN's Roger Badish explains.
Local organizers say high costs and limited volunteer support are the main reasons for canceling the Chicago March in January. But there's also controversy with the National Women's March leadership's relationship with the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. Local group says they're planning another event but don't have any details yet. Roger Badish, WGN News.
An autopsy is being performed today on the body of a woman whose body was found in a trash can on the city's southwest side back on Christmas Eve. Police say the body of the unidentified woman found by streets and sanitation workers who were collecting trash near the alley of 107th Street and South Prospect Avenue in the city's Morgan Park neighborhood. The Tribune reporting a person is in custody, but no charges have been filed. The Department of Homeland Security says it has completed new medical screenings of almost all of the children in the care of the U.S. Border Patrol. The screenings were ordered after an 8-year-old child died in custody of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The boy, identified by Guatemalan officials, was the second migrant child to die in CBP's custody this month. The department says that some children detained in more remote areas were rescreened by emergency medical technicians or Border Patrol agents. In other places, some children were taken to medical facilities. An emergency meeting will be held tonight in the New Jersey School District, where a high school wrestling referee is under fire. The image of student Andrew Johnson forced to cut his dreadlocks at a match at the insistence of the referee has sparked national outrage. ABC's Adrienne Bankert with new information.
First time we're hearing from Johnson's parents through a statement from their lawyer. In it, they're described as deeply moved by the outpouring of support for their son, also saying that the referee was late to weigh-ins and didn't make any mention of Andrew's appearance until he was about to go to the mat, and that the head covering he wore to keep his hair back wasn't disqualified until 90 seconds before the match. That's when he was given the ultimatum to cut his hair or forfeit.
There was no Mega Millions winner in last night's drawing, so the pot rolls over to $348 million. That drawing will be on December 28th, the last drawing of 2018. Your money, sports, traffic, and right now stocks looking pretty good, believe it or not. A little bit of a bounce post-Christmas. The Dow up 362 points, S&P 500 up 42 points, NASDAQ up 149. WGN Sports, we've got Blackhawks coming up tomorrow. They host Minnesota. Pregame with Chris Bowden, 7 o'clock. Face-off at 7:30 with John Weideman and Troy Murray on 720 WGN and WGNradio.com. The Bulls, by the way, hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. College football action, Minnesota taking on Georgia Tech in the Quick Lane Bowl. That takes place in Detroit. The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center coming up after traffic with Jen DeSalvo.
Thanks, Ryan. Over on the Kennedy, we're seeing a little bit of a slow spot between the Hubbard Street Tunnel and the Jane Byrne interchange. O'Hare into downtown, 24 minutes. And over on the Eisenhower, just about 5 minutes minutes worth of delays. The Stevenson looking good in both directions, and the Dan Ryan, you just have a couple of minutes worth of delays after you pass Cermak into the Burn interchange. So everything's moving pretty well in the area, tollways and expressways, but we do have a couple of construction projects that did start today. One of them is some bridge work on eastbound 290 over the Salt Creek, which is just east of Addison Road in Addison, and construction of a new stormwater pumping station on Northwest Highway at the Union Pacific Railroad Viaduct. So traffic's going to be reduced to one lane in each direction for the duration of that project. For personalized traffic on demand, get the Traffic Chicago app approved by the mortgage experts of Team Hochberg. Just search TRAFFIX Chicago. I'm Jen DeSalvo in WGN Traffic Central.
All right, tonight your forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center. Warming up to 44 degrees today under partly sunny skies. Tonight getting down to 39. Tomorrow we crank it up to 56 degrees. The warmest day potentially in Chicago dating back to Halloween. Scattered thunderstorms in the area as well tomorrow. Right now, though, we've got 37 degrees at O'Hare. It's 38 degrees at Midway, 36 in Palatine, 38 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. I'm Ryan Burrow in the WGN Newsroom, ready to join the conversation live whenever a story changes on Chicago's very own 720 WGN.
So, is it Carly Simon and JT, James Taylor, who are hosting?
I thought you were going to say Justin Timberlake.
No, it's...
I'd be like, woo!
No, it's Andrea Darlas and JT, Jim Turano.
Elton, Jim Turano, that is. We got the band back together after 5 years. We've been passing each other in the hallway here at WGN Radio for years. Finally, the management said, you know what? We're going to put you guys together the day after Christmas.
And I love the mugs they printed up for us. Our Jim and Andrea mugs.
I know. Little Jimmy and Andrea. Woohoo! Well, we are so excited. We are getting so many texts and phone calls about our Christmas card segment. I think we're going to have to pick this back up in about 15, 20 minutes or so after we talk to our guests.
Because I do have more rules if you want them.
Yeah, you have more rules. People are, I mean, I didn't realize so many people still send Christmas cards, and they save them and what they do with them.
Yes.
So don't worry, 815-630. Everybody texting in will return to this topic and tell you what some people are doing with their Christmas cards, which is a really cool idea. It might even make me think about...
See?
Maybe not. We'll see.
And it was said that the Grinch's heart grew twice as big.
Yeah. I'll text my Christmas message.
And all the who's and whoville.
We are so excited, though, to have on the phone with us two extremely special people. We're going to introduce you to them both at the same time and have them tell their stories. Chris Reuter, you probably know that name. He's been on Shark Tank. He's a local guy. He's the founder of Spike Ball. And Jeb Moyers has just a heartwarming, gut-wrenching story about his daughter. And I think, and how these two gentlemen met and how they touched so many lives at Lurie Children's Hospital over the past few weeks. We want to say good morning to both of you. Good morning, Chris, and good morning, Jeb. Thanks for being with me and Jim this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Jeb, why don't we start with you and have us tell your story about you and your beautiful daughter, Lily. Tell us the story, and then we'll bring Chris into this story, since you're both heroes, but Chris was kind of the hero of this story. So, Jeb, good morning. Start out and tell us your story.
You knocked it down.
For sure. Tell us your story, Jeb.
Well, I thought this was White Sox Weekly, so I'm a little unprepared for this.
No,
I'm totally kidding.
Oh, that's okay. We're the Sox fan. We're Sox fans here.
No, so on August 29th, 2017, my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. The next day we found out it was acute myeloid leukemia, which is a higher risk than the normal kind of leukemia that kids get. And the treatment is very aggressive. And so that entailed 100 nights in the hospital total, stem cell transplant from her matched sibling donor 357 days ago today. So we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Okay.
And just while in there, you're in isolation, and the only people you really can talk to are the nurses, and they're just wonderful people. And I get teary-eyed kind of talking about it, but
it's true though, right? Your note said that The doctors, of course, are wonderful, and they come in and they perform the treatment, and then they leave, and the nurses are there hour after hour after hour, day after day with your daughter, holding her hand. And you and your wife wanted to do something for the nurses at Lurie Children's Hospital.
Well, we always, and I mean, it goes back to the day we found out it was a high risk. We sat there and it was a horrible day, and eventually we get admitted to the room, and one of the nurses came in and just totally, just made it, she just took control of the situation, kind of tell us like, hey, pick your head up, this doesn't get fixed unless you guys, are there for her. And she's like, we'll take care of her. And, that was always a, horrible day, but, a nurse came in and took over. So then, after many, months and, we're able to reflect now, I reached out to Chris because he's like one of the only famous people I do know. And he's always has been a wonderful person, and and I think I can speak for almost everyone that knows him. Like, they're just so happy with his success. He's always so nice.
And enter Chris Reuter into the picture. He's the CEO of Spikeball. I know you're a Chicagoan, Chris. You live in Wicker Park. You have 3 beautiful children, and you are the inventor of Spikeball. For those who haven't heard of this, you've been on Shark Tank.
I think I saw this.
This is so cool.
I definitely saw when he was
on.
Right?
Yeah, you've seen this. Chris, all right, now Chris enters the picture. Tell us your story.
He is really Mr. Wonderful.
He is. Did Mr. Wonderful take your pitch?
He did not. And I guess just to clarify, I am actually not the inventor. There's a gentleman named Jeff Nurek who is the inventor. I played it as a kid, and I brought it back to life. So it was around for a brief moment in the 80s.
The reinventor.
Reinventor, if you want to call it
reinventor.
That. But, as you mentioned, we were on Shark Tank, and we did get a deal done on the show. It actually didn't happen in real life. But to answer your question, Mr. Wonderful did make an offer, and
nice.
He was very nice on the show. I think he called me articulate a couple times and was very complimentary, and I did decline his offer. But he was
that takes some guts. Look at you saying no to Mr. Wonderful. Wow! Holy smokes!
Wow. So,
but I guess getting back to our story here. So Jeb reached out a few weeks back, and I'd known of what he and his family were going through, and he had said, we'd like to somehow say thanks to the nursing staff. That was just so fantastic, and a pretty challenging time, to put it politely. And he asked if I could donate some Spikeball sets, and I think he did use the word some. Neither of us kind of knew what kind of numbers we were talking about.
Right. He said, I heard originally he wanted to give 10 sets. He said, why don't we get 10 sets for the nurses at Lurie who were helping Lily in that particular unit, the HEMOC unit, and you donated 162 sets to the nurses.
Well, I watched Chris on Shark Tank, so I came in with the offer of 20, hoping to get 10.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
You always got to ask for more.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably generous. It's crazy. What was the reaction? I know we saw some of the pictures, but tell our listeners the reaction of the nurses at Lurie's.
I've gotten sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, Jeb, you go. You had more.
Go ahead, Jeb.
So I got a message from an email from some of the nurses saying thank you. My cousin, and Chris, I was actually going to email this to you. My cousin, who is after spending time with Lily up in the hospital, he now donates his time on 17. And I was, at Christmas, I was, a little puffy-chested talking to the family about what, their, fantastic relative has done. And we're not talking about Lily, we're talking about Lily's dad. And and I said, I'm like, how have you heard of Spikeball? He goes, yeah, all the nurses were talking about how someone got them, a free set. And they were all really excited about it. I'm like, yeah, that's partially me, but more Spikeball than anything.
Oh, right.
So how many did you wind up sending then?
We were going to send them, but actually the sending part, we did it too late where we weren't going to be able to ship them in time. So we have a warehouse down in Kankakee where I'm originally from. So I drove down to Kankakee, grabbed what we call our spike van, which is this giant branded spike ball van. Put the 160
See the spike van next weekend.
That's awesome.
Spike van sounds so much better with an echo. I love that.
Yeah, it does. The reverb.
We'll be at Michigan and Clark for the spike van. Come over and see our spike van.
That's awesome. And you drove all the sets up there?
Yeah, so drove it up and met there, 7 or 8 nurses that met me down at the loading dock.
Oh, I bet they did.
And, they all unloaded. We gave some hugs and said thanks. And, the people running the loading docks really don't have a whole lot of time for hugs and thanks. So it was a quick drop-off and get moving.
Who are these guys with this spike thing over here? What's going on over here?
The volleyballs and the nets.
Yeah, so they sent some pictures, and I heard that for the rest of the afternoon that there were spike ball sets being played actually in the hospital, and nurses are all walking around with spike ball sets slung over their shoulders, and we gave a bunch of spike ball T-shirts and stuff as well, and I'm of course a bit biased, but I love our product in that it literally brings people together. One person buys it, but they now have to go find 3 other people to play it, and just looking at whether it be posts of kids on Instagram, just how psyched they are that they got a spike ball set for Christmas, or hearing the reaction from the nurses, just really cool to be able to help, and hopefully it just generated a couple more smiles than would have been created otherwise.
Real quick, explain to people how you play spike ball, just so we understand what you gave them.
Yep. So if you get the rules to 2-on-2 volleyball in your head, that'll make the most sense. But also, watch a video if you really want to get clarity. Words can kind of confuse things. But the net itself looks like kind of a small jogging trampoline, but you don't actually jump on it. You've got an inflatable rubber ball about the size of an orange, and you're standing next to your partner. You hit the ball onto the net. Now it is the other team they get up to 3 hits before they have to spike it back on the net, and they want to hit it in such a way that you and your partner can't get to it. The 2 teams keep volleying back and forth, and whoever can't get it back on the net, the other team gets a point. First team to 21 wins.
Okay, now I want to paint a picture, because you just said that this was going on hospital floors? I mean,
no one will know.
I mean,
no
you guys
one
weren't.
Will know.
I hope to God there were no plugs getting kicked out in any of the rooms.
Thankfully, by that time, I was already miles away in the spike van, and my liability.
Yeah.
This was like Patch Adams's hospital or something.
Right. Chris is back in Kankakee.
Yeah, wow. Could you imagine you're going to the hospital to visit one of your relatives or a friend, and you walk in and there's spike ball going on?
I know. Chris, I have to get one of these. I have to get one of these for our former radio host here, Spike Odell. He would love this spike ball. And think
you can
when
tell Bill left to put down the tennis racket and
totally.
Totally.
The game reminds me of just looking at the pictures of kind of handball and volleyball combined.
Yeah.
But this is just so
Absolutely.
awesome. And we're not alone. You've been on the Inc. 500 list of fastest growing companies in the entire country twice. And we mentioned Shark Tank. You were voted the best pitch for all of season 6. And if this is an accolade, I don't know what is. Drake is a big spike ball fan on Instagram.
Yo.
And he puts all over the gram pictures of himself playing spike ball, which is very cool.
Well, that's an amazing thing, and it is amazing how there was no way that you two ever would have thought that this was going to come together, and it's just so fun and interesting how the stars align and something comes from you never would have expected.
That's right.
Yeah, feel fortunate to be able to be in a position where we can help, and again, hopefully the nursing staff is feeling pretty good, and just a small way of us. I cannot imagine having the role that they have to wake up every day and going into a hospital and knowing that they're going to be facing kids that are facing life-threatening things like what Lily has gone through, and God knows how many others. And again, if we can just provide just a little bit of happiness or joy, then hallelujah, let's do it.
Well, Chris, Jeb, thank you so much. Thanks for coming
Thank you,
together.
Greg.
And thank you to all the nurses, the doctors too, but the nurses at Lurie Children's Hospital for all the work they do. And thank you again for bringing them some much
And
needed
don't forget
joy.
it, at 1 o'clock, the Spike Van is going to be in Michigan. right in front of the Wrigley Building. A Spike Van will be there if you want to play a little spike ball. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to Kevin McDonough. Maybe you can set that up.
Oh, look at you name dropping everybody there. We're going to have to get a spike ball set. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to both of you and Lily and your whole families. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kevin.
Happy New Year.
Thanks,
Bye-bye,
guys.
guys. Happy
Chris,
New Year.
Again, thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Absolutely.
Cool story. Cool story.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Very cool.
Love that.
Make Sundays your special night to tour the city. Watch Chicago's best at 10 p.m. Then stick around for the latest in shopping, entertainment, and events on See Chicago at 10:30 p.m. on WGN TV. Andrea Darlas, Elton Jim, 7:20 a.m. filling in for Bill and Wendy. We'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, just gonna play some music.
Well, you can do that.
Is this one of our reunion songs?
Yes, it is. Of course
Okay,
it is.
good.
Because who is this?
Ready? Here it comes.
Don't go breaking my heart. Come
Oh, I didn't know
on.
that part.
Come on, Kiki Darlas.
I thought I was doing the first part. I don't know the second.
You don't know Kiki? Oh, come on. Is this...
The only one.
Who's hosting this show? Is it Elton John and Kiki D, or is it Elton Jim and Andrea
D.
Darlas?
There you go.
Now, you don't know the
it.
words to Don't Go Breaking My Heart?
I know Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Oh, that's in the title.
Ooh, I know that part.
Oh, we're going to have to get you
Anybody
to a
who knows
karaoke
me,
bar or
I
something.
could. Okay, if you play, I can name any song in maybe 2 notes, maybe 3, from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I'll tell you the band. I'll tell you who sings it, but I don't know all the words.
Wow.
I tend to make. I'm one of those people who.
My gosh, I thought
makes
Don't
up
Go
the words
Breaking
of
My
songs.
Heart was like just, I mean, it's almost like a part of the national consciousness.
I know. Don't go breaking my
I
heart.
couldn't if I tried. Oh, honey, if I get restless. Baby, you're not that kind. Come on. That's all she knows. Woo-hoo.
I'm having so much fun with you. Oh, we're getting crazy texts. This is fantastic. 312-981-7200. Elton Jim, myself, Andrea Darlas, and we are here with you until noon. And don't forget, you can join us between noon and 1 on our stream.
Bonus hour, bonus hour, bonus hour.
Why did we find that button for
I know.
him? Ben Anderson producing.
I found this little button here, which I didn't know existed.
A lot of people say
I
that.
can't wait
Oh.
until Friday when I'm doing this by myself, do the whole show like this. Hey, baby.
We're switching spots. I'm going to stand over there on Friday.
Yeah, Friday, Andrea will be running the board, and
Our
I'll just be
Our
in
listeners
the other
are-
room.
Thank God, thank God.
Well, we will be together again,
Yeah.
filling in for Bill and Wendy
We'll be together
on Friday.
On Friday as well, from 10 until noon in our bonus hour, WGNradio.com.
Will we have a bonus hour too?
Yes, we will. You just want me to keep saying that. We are getting we thanks to our guests from Spikeball and Jeb Moyers as well. Everybody at Lurie Children's Hospital. It is spikeball.com. People wanting to check this game out. It's very cool, and we were getting inundated with our Christmas card discussion. You did your rules for your Christmas cards, and then I asked probably too open-ended of a question. Do you save them? And everybody is weighing in, and all of your comments here from our texters, these are great ideas about recycling them and ways you can keep them and recycle them. And this one person from I think it was the 773 texted.
Thanks for texting 773.
Go ahead, hit the button.
Oh no.
Okay, there you wanted to do it.
All right.
So
773 just texted.
we're going to continue this discussion after 11:30 as well, because people just really want to talk about Christmas cards, what they do, and this one texter said how they keep the spirit of someone in their family who passed away alive
nice.
with the Christmas cards and what they do. And this is so moving. It makes me want to kind of start sending Christmas cards again.
Oh, see, we're going to get you, Scrooge.
Yeah, I know.
And it was thought that Scrooge's heart growed twice as hard as it did that night.
Ebenezer.
No, but just to recap, so we were talking about, do people send Christmas cards? My wife and I do. Andrea says, of course, Miss Social Media, Miss Techno Butterfly, she doesn't. And I was just saying how I like to send them out. However, I have a few rules.
A few?
Well, first of all,
You have like a scroll.
if I'm sending out, whatever I send out, I have to get half plus one in order to send them out next year because, hey, How about a little for the effort here?
Do you tell people this, though?
Oh, no.
Okay, so nobody
What am I
knows
going to say? Oh, by the way, you better send me a card back. I'm like, no. This is just an internal edict, which now I'm blasting over 50,000 watts. But so if you get a card from me, you'll know you want to, send it back if you want another one.
And I'm also excited to see how people are saving their Christmas cards and what they're doing, because for years I just kept them in shoe boxes until I moved.
I had them in manila envelopes.
Yeah,
exactly.
and I thought, what am I going to do with these? So I threw them out. Or I think I did recycle. I'm very much into reduce, reuse, recycle.
Oh, you do recycle?
Yeah, I recycle. So
that's great, because I then cross you out.
Come on.
Because I don't recycle, so whatever you're doing, it's going to nothing.
That is not true.
I X you out.
You don't recycle?
No.
Stop it.
When China starts recycling, then I will recycle.
Come on, what do you do with your milk cartons? A gallon of milk?
In the words of Scrooge, are there no garbage cans?
Oh God. Oh.
Well, good, because I thought.
Oh, I don't feel good.
Oh, good, because I thought that maybe the garbage collection had stopped.
You don't work on house smarts with Lou Manfredini for 10 years, and you're not into. I'm going to show you my video I made with a bunch of first graders on reduce, reuse, recycle.
Call me when China does it.
Oh, stop it. I think I got a pit in my stomach.
I don't think Andrea's going to be back here on Friday, or either me or Andrea will not be back. She's looking at me right now.
I can't stop shaking.
She's like, oh my gosh, there are daggers in your eye. Okay, you know what? I was just joking. I recycle.
You do not. What do you do with a can of Coke, a water bottle? You throw that in the trash?
Are there no garbage cans?
God. 11:30. We better get to the news. Ryan, you better come in here and help me, because something's not going to be good while you're doing this newscast.
All right.
I'm either going to pass out.
Do you recycle, Ryan?
I try. I do. Yeah, in the suburbs.
Tries.
In the suburbs, though, we it's a little easier than being in a high rise. I always try to, when I finish a can of Coke here, I don't know where to put the aluminum.
I'm going to buy you a
can.
little
In fact,
blue bin.
You know what they did in my town? They gave us a separate garbage can.
That's what you're supposed to do. The separate garbage cans.
You know what I did? Because it's got the
Please.
recycle sign on
Would
it.
you do spray paint it black?
I spray. How did you know?
You want to talk about a black heart?
Not only did I spray paint it black, the recycle logo.
That's illegal.
I put tape over that.
Oh, I'm so calling your village. I'm calling your village president while Ryan's doing the news.
How did you know that I?
I need to go just leave the room for a minute here. 11:31. We'll be back. Myself, Andrea Darlas, and Elton Jim. Possibly we'll be back after Ryan Burrow.
If I'm not recycled.
Does the news. Go take it away, Ryan.
Chicago police looking for a 66-year-old man from the Austin neighborhood. He's been missing since Friday. Ronald Williams was last seen in the 900 block of North Leamington. Police say he's known to frequent the area of Chicago and Lockwood Avenues. He's described as black, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 160 pounds, short gray hair, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black T-shirt and black jeans. Police say Williams is a cancer survivor and has diabetes and high blood pressure. Russian President Vladimir Putin has overseen a test of a new hypersonic glide vehicle he says is impossible to intercept and will ensure Russia's security for decades to come. Putin speaking to Russia's top military brass after watching the live feed of the launch on Wednesday. Investigators in Hickory Hill still trying to determine if a house fire in the 8800 block of Beechnoe Road was started intentionally. Fire officials say the fire started in the garage on Christmas Day and quickly spread to a vehicle parked outside. Nobody was hurt. The state fire marshal has been investigating. Your money, sports, traffic, and weather next. WGN, Orion Samuelson.
Well, if you thought volatility would go away after the Christmas holiday, it hasn't. We've been all over the place so far this morning, and currently the Dow Industrial Average is up 432 points. The S&P 500 is up 50 points. The NASDAQ is up 170 points. And the volatility index at the CBOE is now down 2 2/3 points. And part of the reason is the Christmas retail season apparently looking pretty good, with several of the retailers reporting good sales for the holiday season. Amazon up more than 4% after reporting a record-breaking season. Stock was giving the biggest boost to the S&P and the NASDAQ, and led the consumer discretionary index up 1.5%. Checking some of the stocks on our Midwest list today, We find Eli Lilly up $1.82 a share, Caterpillar up $3.03, Deere & Company up $2.16, Allstate up $1.31, Archer Daniels Midland up 17 cents a share, Boeing Company up $8.90 a share, and Northern Trust up $1.58 a share. Turning to the grain trade, Chicago Board of Trade, there it's a red screen. March wheat futures now down 6 1/4 cents a bushel. March corn down 4 1/2 cents a bushel. January soybeans taking a big hit today, down 12 3/4 cents a bushel. Livestock futures, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The April lean hog contract is up 22 cents a hundredweight. December live cattle up 35 cents, and the January feeder cattle contract is up 65 cents. Brent crude futures up more than $3, now trading as a session high of $53.88 a barrel. U.S. crude also up more than $3 to a session high of $45.85 a barrel. And that's your money on 720 WGN.
WGN Sports, the Bulls on the hardwood tonight, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the UC. College football action, Minnesota versus Georgia Tech in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. WGN traffic, Jen DeSalvo.
So we have an alert, a power outage at Peterson and Central Park Avenue on Chicago's northwest side. Now, it's going to be out for about 3 hours. ComEd has to chop a tree that's interfering with the lines in that area. So if you live around there, you might be out of power for a few hours. The Eden's looking good, though, at this time. We have some stop-and-go traffic on the spur because it's down to 1 lane in each direction. But the Kennedy inbound O'Hare to downtown, 28 minutes. 15 in from Montrose, 8 in those express lanes. The outbound side, no problems to report, and everything looking good out by O'Hare Airport. On the Eisenhower, stop-and-go from Western into the Circle, 35 minutes from 390 to the Old Post Office, 19 in from Manheim. The outbound side is clear, but the Stevenson's looking good. And the Dan Ryan, slight delays between the Stevenson and the Byrne Interchange, 95th into downtown. That's going to be a 22-minute trip. No problems on 57, the Bishop Ford, or Lakeshore Drive. But down on the south side, we do have a structure fire at 147th Street and Vale Avenue. So if you're going to be in Harvey, watch out for that as you travel around. For personalized traffic on demand, get the Traffic Chicago app approved by the mortgage experts of Team Hochberg. Just search TRAFFIX Chicago. I am Jen DeSalvo in WGN Traffic Central.
The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center, partly sunny skies today. Will be up in the mid-40s. Tonight down to 39 degrees. Tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms getting up to 56 degrees. That would be the warmest day in Chicago dating back to Halloween. Your temperatures right now, not quite as warm. We've got 42 degrees at O'Hare, 43 Midway, 40 degrees in Naperville, and 39 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. I'm Ryan Burrow in the WGN Radio Newsroom. These are the stories that matter on 720 WGN.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Haas and Bemp Incorporated.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. With any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way.
We are doing it our way here at WGN 720 AM. Now, who's co-hosting right now, filling in for Bill and Wendy? Is it Laverne DeFazio and Shirley Feeney? No.
Feeney was her last name?
Yeah, Shirley Feeney and Laverne DeFazio. Come on, let's go. Pick it
love
up.
this show. I forgot it was Shirley Feeney.
It is not Shirley Feeney and Laverne DeFazio. It is Andrea Darlas and Jim Turano, Elton Jim here.
Yes.
And we were having some fun since 10 o'clock. We're going to be finishing up in about 20 minutes or so, and then we will go to the stream. So if you like what you're hearing now, then please go to WGNplus.com.
Yep, or WGNradio.com and click on the little icon. We'll be there with you for another hour.
We'll do another hour of whatever this is. And of course, you know how not fitting, but apt in that Penny Marshall passed away.
Oh, I know. What an absolute legend.
Now, in tribute to her and to play this Laverne and Shirley theme that I put up, I've got my shirt has a big J on it.
Yeah, for Jim.
Yeah, instead of the big L.
Is that what it
Laverne.
stands for, the big J?
Big J, yeah. Yeah, it's a big
Jim.
J right over here.
Yeah.
Your big J on the J on the G.
Think of a few other things that might stand for. No, of course, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
because Laverne used to have the big L on her
I know.
sweater.
Remember that? I love that show. I love Penny Marshall. Cindy Williams made a lot of side movies, and I know she became a producer as well, and then just kind of faded from.
Yeah, they both.
limelight.
I didn't know that Penny Marshall was the first female director ever to direct a film that made over $100 million, which
yes,
is big. I did
yeah.
not know that.
Mm-hmm. And League of Their Own, I think.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she made some great movies.
I remember.
Awakenings is probably my favorite. Did you ever see Awakenings with Robin Williams and
yes.
Robert De Niro?
Love. There were so many films that Penny Marshall directed that they were after the fact. I remembered when they did the tribute to her.
And who was she married to?
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Give me 3 choices.
I'm not going to give you 3 choices.
I'll guess it if you give me 3 choices.
I'll just give you a hint.
I know Gary Marshall was her brother.
I'll give you a hint.
All right, give me a hint.
All in the Family.
Not Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
They were married.
She was married to Rob Reiner in the 70s.
Do you remember right after Penny Marshall made big, they said, how funny is it that the top 3 directors in Hollywood are Opie, Meathead, and Laverne?
Yeah. Right, because
great?
Ron Howard, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she was
And they
married to Rob Reiner. And in fact, if you remember, and I don't know how much you watch old TV shows, but Penny Marshall also first appeared on The Odd Couple with with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman.
That's right, yes,
in the 70s.
I did know that.
And she was Myrna Turner. She was Oscar Madison's secretary.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an episode where Rob Reiner appeared as her boyfriend.
No kidding.
Sheldon.
No kidding.
Because she couldn't say Sheldon.
Those were great. And I still love the MeTV.
Oh, yeah.
Shows how they play all the reruns.
Oh, definitely.
Wonder Woman, Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, so I guess she was, 75 when she passed away. But so I thought it would be a nice little tie-in to not only be able to talk to Penny Marshall, but once again, one of the famous duos that we've been talking about, whether it was Sonny and Cher, or whether it was Elton John and Kiki D, or whether it was Peaches and Herb, or whether it was Carly Simon and James Taylor. But no, it is Andrea Darlas and Jim Turano filling in today for Bill and Wendy. And we'll be doing this on Friday,
Yeah,
too.
we will. And because we are reunited, for those who don't know, we
and
worked
it feels
together.
so good.
It does. We worked together about 5 years ago. I was anchoring afternoons with you and Gary Meyer. And the irony in all of this was our producer was Stephanie Menendez, who is now our boss. Which, so, always be nice to people.
Yeah, you never know who's going to...
Right. When
I think of all the times I made fun of her, now I understand my current predicament.
Now we realize why she finally put us together after 4 years. She's like, finally, enough of your harassing me and haranguing me. So we're together. But we brought up the subject of, you and I were talking off the air a few days ago about, do you still send Christmas cards or not? You have your rules, which are insane, which the texters agree with me. We are just getting so many awesome texts. You had someone from the 312. I forgot to read this from earlier. Elton Jim is right about the baby Jesus. At midnight mass, the priest places baby Jesus in his crib in the manger.
Nice.
Happy, healthy New Year to both of you and all of our listeners. This stems from the fact that you keep the baby Jesus in the piano bench
until 12:01.
Until 12:01
on Christmas Day, when he is officially born.
Is this?
And my 3 wise men are in the kitchen. They are not even close to the stable in the spare room. They have to make their way because just now he was born. So now the star is up.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, and I know the story. It just sounds crazy coming from
No, because it takes them a while to cross the desert.
I wonder if anybody else does this.
Well,
keeps both of this. I know many don't put the baby Jesus in the manger.
All I'm saying is I'm keeping the nativity story both alive.
Yeah, you are.
And factually correct.
Insane. Absolutely.
To put baby Jesus there on the day after Thanksgiving makes absolutely no sense.
Someone put rules with regard to Christmas cards from the 630. Elton Jim is insane,
right.
Which is true. This stems from the rules of your Christmas cards,
which is that I will not send out Christmas cards the next year unless I get back half plus one that I sent out.
I love the half plus one.
Half plus one.
It's like it's the mayor's race,
right?
You know,
exactly, exactly.
For 50% plus one.
There's no runoff. Unless it's plus one.
Right. Do you want to take this call?
Yeah, why don't we go to Eric, I believe, is on the phone from Country Club Hills. Hello, Eric.
Elton and Andrea, how are you doing?
Hey,
I have to apologize for my lisp. I just came from the dentist, so my speech is going to sound kind of funny. But I'm standing in front of my stack of Christmas cards. I mounted them to the wall, and I both send and receive Christmas cards, and I like to admire the perfectly scripted penmanship that I get from friends and family members. That's the one thing I always admire about my Christmas cards.
Well, that's a dying art. A lot of young kids aren't even being taught how to write in cursive anymore. It's all printing.
Exactly. And in this day of, texting and, you press a button, you automatically send out 400 Christmas cards via, text message or an email. There's something still,
that's
nice
also
about
known. That's
getting a
also
card,
known as
opening an envelope, et cetera, et cetera.
That's also known as the Andrea Darlas way.
No,
of sending.
I will say one thing. I'll say one thing in defense of my texting and email. I'll always personalize it. You get these mass texts that say "Merry Christmas" and it's from. And I'm not joking here. Like the guy who sold you a car.
Right.
So you're on this mass list, and then everybody hits reply on Merry Christmas, and you don't even know who all these people are.
Right, yeah.
I won't do that. I will specifically say, Eric, I'll say Merry Christmas, Eric, or Merry Christmas to Jim.
Oh, so you will send it individual.
Yeah, I'll send an individual text.
That's
I won't do a mass text, but I won't do a Christmas card.
But I think now with Eric talking about, you get a chance to see people's cards, you get a chance to see their personal writing. I've been talking about, I think we're going to get you to send some cards next year.
I might.
I think
Maybe
you
I'll send
need
a
to go
couple.
to the dollar store
I'll do the
and buy your Christmas cards.
I'll do the Shutterfly, or I'll do the Snapfish.
Enough with
I'll do the photo card.
Snapchat, all this. Buy a card.
Wouldn't you rather see me on the beach as opposed to, or maybe not on the beach, but like me hiking through the mountains as opposed to just a cardinal sitting on a.
Oh, you mean personalize your card?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about you need to get a hard copy card.
All right, I will.
Hard
for you
copy.
For next year, I'll send 10.
Go nuts and buy the stamps.
I'll send 10. How's that?
Go out now and buy your forever stamps because they'll get them now. They're only 50 cents. Next year they'll be 55. So go out in the next 4 days and buy your
This
stamps.
is gonna cost. How much is this going to cost
Hey,
me?
how much does it cost to make a heart warm?
Here we go. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
And I believe that's Eric the Undertaker, isn't it?
Yes, it sure is. I was going to comment
Eric.
about my clients. I send out cards to my clients, but it can be kind of a touchy subject.
Oh.
But you know what? If I can say one more thing really quickly, there's something sacrosanct about putting a stamped envelope into a mailbox. I'm kind of an official person, and it's just, I like knowing that. All right, U.S. Postal Service is going to deliver this thing, neither rain nor snow nor gloom of night or however that goes. And I always make it a point to align my stamps perfectly and use Christmas stamps, not just
of course. Yes, I bought all my
metered mail or anything like that.
I bought all my Santa stamps this year. No doubt about that, my friend. We're on the same page.
That's right. All right, well, you take care. I'll let you take some other calls.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric. What's it called?
Okay, bye-bye.
A mailbox? Do they still have those things?
Yeah, it's not an inbox. It's a mailbox.
Here's another one. Jim and Andre, I love the Postal Service. I love getting cards in the mail. This is where I agree with Mary. She signed her name. Mary says, I think glitter should be banned from all greeting cards and gift bags. You can never get rid of it. I completely agree with you.
A lot
Mary.
of 3D cards this year. They're like the design actually is 3D in that it comes out of the card and it costs more to send that. I sent a Christmas card to my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And so like the Santa, the card wasn't just flat, but the little Santa was actually like outside of the card.
Yeah.
And that took more stamps because it's heavier. But I forgot to put more stamps, so I sent it to her, and it came back 3 days later. But thankfully, I sent things early, so I was able to get it back to her.
Thank God, right?
But yeah, so the Postal Service actually make a little more money on those cards, too. I wonder if they're in cahoots with Hallmark.
I know. And then we also talked about the pictures of send your whole family
Yes,
on a
please.
picture,
If you
not just
send
your
me a
kids.
picture of your family Christmas card, put you in it. Now, I talked to a friend of mine one time, and who's the mother, and she sends her kids, and she says that she would put that some years she puts her and her husband in it, depending if she looks good in the picture.
Oh, I'm sure she looks great.
I'm like, come on.
Women always think, you know what? You always look great. You really do. We always think we don't.
I love your kids, but I love you too. I want to see your family all together, not just your kids.
And you got that's the number 2 text that we're getting now as far as mass quantity. Oh my God, I totally agree. It's like parents have disappeared from cards. If you put your kids on the cards, put their ages down, and then again, put yourself in the cards as well.
There you go.
I don't like getting a picture of grandkids alone. No names, no ages, no note. It's so impersonal. Love everything you're talking about, Elton, Jim, and Andre. Hey, are you getting ready to sell your home? December, believe it or not, is one of the best times to list your home when you work with the Wexler Real Estate Group. The Wexler Group thrives in the winter because they're outworking everyone else using internet marketing, direct mail. They can sell your home faster and for top dollar. They currently have hundreds of buyers in their database looking for the perfect home, including many cash buyer investors who can buy your home and close in less than 10 days. For the past 35 years, Ron Wexler, Tammy Northcutt, and the entire team, they've been committed to getting the job done right for their clients. The Wexler Real Estate Group is with you 100% of the way, putting your needs first and dealing with buyers and their agents, attorneys, appraisers, lenders, and inspectors. Sell your home faster and for top dollar with the Wexler Group at Keller Williams Preferred Realty. Call or text them today at 708-629-5151. That's 708-629-5151 or online at thewexlergroup.com.
So is it Marvin Gaye singing, hosting the show? No, it is not. Now, Benning the Jets, our producer here, Ben Anderson, I always get this, but is that Tammy Terrell or is that, it's Marvin Gaye and it's someone else, right?
Yeah, that's Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston.
Kim Weston.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell were a very famous duo with Motown, but it was Kim Weston who does It Takes Two, which is one of my favorite songs.
That too.
But it is not Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston hosting today, filling in for Bill and Wendy. It is Jim Gay. No, it is Elton Jim and Andrea Darlas.
Oh, God.
We have been having fun today.
We've
been
have.
on here since, 10 o'clock. We've got about 6 or 8 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you like what you've heard so far, then go to WGNradio.com and we'll be doing another extra bonus hour.
Oh, God. I'm removing that button from you.
From 12 to 1.
Yeah. And we've been talking about Christmas cards and baby. We're going to take this call about baby Jesus, but I have to read this to you first before we run out of time on the air here, Jim. We were talking about the Christmas cards and what people do, and I said, either recycle them or throw them out. And people, there's so many great texts. Thank you for all of these. My mother used to use the front of the received Christmas cards that weren't personalized on the front or with a note written on the back to use as gift tags on the larger gifts that we would wrap.
Nice idea.
Still using the supply that she saved. Her mom passed away a year ago, November of 2017, and they will be using them for quite a while. That's from Peter
Cool
in Sauk
idea.
Village. Very cool idea. And a lot of church groups are texting in and schools saying that ladies at the church take the Christmas cards, cut out the pretty designs, punch hole in 2 different cards back to back, and make them either into ornaments or door hangers, and they use them at their nursing home or to hang on wheelchairs or for decoration,
cool.
and they're quite lovely.
Nice.
So that's a great idea.
And we should recap at the top of the show. I was talking about my nativity scene and how I do not put the baby Jesus in the manger or even close to the manger or in the stable until Christmas Day, 12:01. I keep him in the piano bench, and then at 12:01 I bring him out and put him where he should be. Then, because now he's born, and I also have my 3 wise men in the kitchen as they make their way towards the living room.
Where are they today? Do you move them closer to
Well, close them, but they just saw the stars, so they're just starting.
Okay.
Yeah, Balthazar, Caspar,
Will
and
they end
Melchior.
up like in the refrigerator? I mean, you put the baby Jesus in the piano bench.
Well, yeah. Well, no, they have to traverse the couch and the TV stand.
Wow.
And the
Nights
coffee
at your
table.
house must be so fun.
Yeah, they are. They 3 kings are traversing afar. Remember the song?
Oh, God.
Where is Lori on the phone here? Hello, Lori.
Lori, please help me.
My family thinks I'm absolutely nuts, and now I agree with Elton Jim, and I think I am too.
Right. And it's fun being
It's all
nuts,
right,
isn't
Lori.
it?
It's okay. Where do you keep the baby Jesus?
Baby Jesus is different. He's not in my piano bench.
Okay.
We gift wrap him and put him in the manger, and he is the first thing to be opened Christmas morning.
Now, see, excellent. I love that. I mean, I guess my piano bench might be a little cold, but I like that idea,
Although,
too.
how does he breathe?
Well, okay.
Well, that's what my family keeps saying.
See?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do Lori's idea for next year. I'm going to wrap him up. I'm going to put him under my tree. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put 2 little holes by his nose.
For air holes.
So he can breathe.
You know what? I should have done that.
Right.
There you go, Lori. See, then you won't scare the kids and the grandkids.
Jesus does not belong in that manger.
House, so the wise men take a while to get They take just a quarter of an inch walk every day.
That's what I said. Right now, my three wise men have just made it to the Ottoman. And not the Ottoman Empire.
God. No.
They've made it to the Ottoman by my chair.
Wow, I'm telling you, I would love to spend an afternoon with you, Lori, and an evening with Jim in your homes to see this journey.
Next year, Lori and I are going to get together. We're going to have three wise man races. And to see whose three wise men can get to the stable quicker.
So what do we do with the one that's kneeling?
Oh, that's true. Well, he could do somersaults. Yeah, that's true, because Balthazar... I think Melchior is always on his knee. I'm not sure which one. But well, thank you, Lori. I'm glad you're as crazy as I am. There's at least two of us.
Me
it
too,
takes
Lori.
Two.
Happy New Year.
All right.
Happy New Year.
We got to take a break here, but first, let me say that this holiday season, when you put money in the Salvation Army's Red Kettles, you're giving someone in addiction recovery the gift of hope, or a senior a hot meal, or a family a warm place to sleep. You're providing love and compassion. Every day, people turn to the Salvation Army to keep the heat on, to put food on the table, and to keep their children safe from harm. And every day, you make it possible for the Salvation Army to give that help. Every year, the Army serves more than 1 million people throughout Chicagoland. They provide housing, cure hunger. Oh, I'm sorry, housing, they cure hunger, they combat addiction, they brighten the holidays, and they do so much more. If there is a cause that you are concerned about, the Salvation Army addresses it. This year, give hope to a neighbor in need. Give to the Salvation Army at the iconic Red Kettles or online. You just click the large donate button at www.salarmychicago.org/WGN Radio. We'll be back right after this. No switching.
All right,
Hello,
it is
Andrea.
noon. I almost said it's midnight. I'm used to working at night. I'm like, oh, it's midnight.
No, that's me.
Woo,
It's 2 a.m. for you 7 people.
Jim, this has been a blast. Continue to follow us on WGNradio.com. We'll be on the stream for the next hour, and we'll be together on Friday again, and for Bill and Wendy at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Elton, Jim, and Andrea Darlas, be there.
How much eggnog have you guys drank, by the way, here so far this morning?
None.
I got news for you. No eggnog, no coffee.
After hearing the stories about the poor baby Jesus and the piano bench, and Lori apparently wraps hers up with no air holes, I need an eggnog.
Oh, I love eggnog.
You know what I was thinking? You need to send Lori a Christmas card. You guys need to get on each other's Christmas card
Yeah,
lists.
if Lori's out there,
'Cause you're traditional.
send me a text.
Yeah, send a text in Lori, and we'll get you on the Christmas card list.
Well, Jim, I loved your Christmas card rules, by the way.
See?
I love Christmas cards. I love getting them, but you please label them, have the parents in them.
Right.
Yeah,
Make it personal. And I still love getting, my parents, I went up to their place for the holidays, and they they've been in the same place for 30 years and never changed the address. So they're getting some from, they have hundreds of Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And every Christmas I sit down and look through them all. It's fun to see how the families progress through the years. But please label them. I don't know what people look like anymore from 20 years ago. So.
We need to touch on Friday, Jim, on the Christmas letters. I still have two friends who still send the Christmas letters. Do you read them?
Boy, do I have rules on Christmas letters.
Oh, you better take it away, John.
Have a great show. Enjoy the stream, guys. Thanks so much.
John.
All right, so coming up on the Wintrust Business Lunch today, going to be talking with Terry Savage. Hey, looking like a good day on the markets, at least so far.